How's it going, everybody? The second half of the spring sale just started on PlayStation. It's running from now until April 22nd, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day, I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil 2 is a masterful reimagining of the survival horror classic that revitalizes every terrifying moment with modern visuals, tight gameplay, cinematic atmosphere, and intense suspense throughout the unforgettable experience. Set in Raccoon City during the 1998 outbreak, rookie cop Leon Kennedy and college student Claire Redfield find themselves trapped in a city overrun by the undead, desperately searching for a way to escape. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition delivers a massive dark fantasy RPG where Geralt searches for Ciri across a war-torn, monster-filled continent in a sprawling, reactive world filled with meaningful choices and consequences throughout every quest and storyline. The Complete Edition also includes both huge expansions, all DLC, new items, and a photo mode for capturing the continent's atmosphere in stunning detail. It's a 93 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 110 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Hades is a razor-sharp roguelike dungeon crawler where Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, fights to escape his father's realm using fluid combat, powerful god-granted abilities, and endlessly variable builds that make every run feel exciting and unpredictable. You'll carve through shifting biomes, stack synergistic boons from the Olympians, and uncover new layers of story each time you fall and rise again. It's a 94 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Assassin's Creed Unity sends you to 1789 Paris as the French Revolution erupts, following Arno on a personal quest for redemption that pulls him into conspiracies shaping the nation's violent upheaval. You'll free run across rooftops, slip through packed crowds, and infiltrate grand landmarks recreated with stunning detail, using stealth and refined close-quarters combat to uncover the forces manipulating the city's violent collapse. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, the Metro Saga bundle includes all 3 acclaimed games, Metro 2033 Redux, Metro Last Light Redux, and Metro Exodus Gold Edition, delivering one massive, story-driven first-person shooter experience. Journey from the claustrophobic tunnels beneath Moscow to the vast, dangerous wastelands of post-apocalyptic Russia, fighting both human and mutant threats in tense, cinematic encounters. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 90 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $10, 75% off, Sifu is a stylish martial arts action game where you hunt down the assassins who murdered your family, battling through atmospheric clubs, galleries, and office towers while aging each time you fall in combat. You'll chain dodges, parries, strikes, and combos together, using throwable objects, improvised weapons, and clever positioning to outmaneuver relentless groups of enemies that never wait their turn in brutal encounters. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is the definitive fighting game experience, combining 2 critically acclaimed time-bending story campaigns with the full, complete roster of 37 characters. Battle through Towers of Time, the Crypt, Classic Towers, or online modes while reliving epic clashes from all previous guest fighters like Terminator, Joker, Spawn, and RoboCop, with Combat Pack 1, Aftermath expansion, and Combat Pack 2 all included. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster brings 2 of the most beloved RPGs of their generation to PS4 with remastered graphics, updated audio, and polished gameplay that preserves the heart of the originals. You'll follow the journeys of Titus, Yuna, and their friends across stunning high-definition environments while engaging in strategic turn-based combat and experiencing 2 epic stories. It's an 89 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 240 hours to get both platinums. For $6, 70% off, Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood is a classic action platformer collection that bundles 2 of the most beloved entries in the series into one package. With Richter Belmont's stage-based challenge in Rondo of Blood, Alucard's exploration-driven adventure in Symphony of the Night, and iconic gothic music paired with tight side-scrolling combat, it delivers a timeless Castlevania experience. It's an 87 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is a classic JRPG set during a time of war, following Squall Leonhardt and the elite Seed mercenaries as they oppose the tyrannical forces of Galbadia and the sorceress Edea. Join forces with Rinoa and allies to navigate political conflict, shifting loyalties, and a sweeping sci-fi fantasy narrative that blends personal relationships with world-altering stakes across multiple nations and timelines. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Persona 4 Golden is a critically acclaimed JRPG that blends supernatural mystery, turn-based combat, and life simulation, placing you in the shoes of a high school student in the rural town of Inaba as a series of bizarre murders unfold. Explore otherworldly dungeons, battle monstrous shadows, and confront the darker sides of yourself while building meaningful friendships and making choices that shape your story. It's a 94 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Guardians of the Galaxy is a fun, action-packed third-person adventure that blends Marvel's charm with combat, dialogue, and a story full of chaos, heart, and exciting twists. You play as Star-Lord, leading a crew of misfit heroes as they navigate a chain of catastrophic events threatening the galaxy, relying on element blasters, tag team attacks, and jet boot maneuvers to survive battles and cinematic set pieces. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Evil Within bundle includes the full game plus all season pass content, the assignment, the consequence, and the executioner packs, delivering intense, chilling survival horror from Shinji Mikami and Tango Gameworks. Navigate terrifying, highly crafted environments, manage scarce resources, and face relentless threats while uncovering a tension-filled story that perfectly blends action, fear, and psychological dread. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Doom Eternal is an adrenaline-fueled first-person shooter that casts you as the Doomslayer, humanity's ultimate warrior, battling hellish forces across Earth and other dimensions. Move at lightning speed and wield a devastating arsenal to obliterate hordes of demons, while using the unholy trinity of combat, glory kills for health, incineration for armor, and chainsaw executions for ammo, to survive ever-escalating waves of enemies. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Battlefield 5 Definitive Edition is the ultimate World War II shooter experience, combining the base game with every Year 1 and Year 2 expansion for a complete arsenal of weapons, vehicles, and gadgets for thrilling, large-scale combat. Players can dive into intense multiplayer battles, customize soldiers with dozens of elites, outfits, and skins, and explore 84 immersive outfit variations that enhance the World War II sandbox. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Fallout 4 is a massive post-apocalyptic RPG where you emerge from Vault 111 into a devastated Commonwealth and shape your own path through a world filled with factions, secrets, dangerous encounters, and side quests that reward exploration. You'll explore ruined cities, wilderness, irradiated landmarks, and underground facilities, while making decisions that influence characters, settlements, and the fate of the wasteland. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Shadow of War Definitive Edition is an open-world action RPG where you forge a new ring of power, lead a personal orc army, and conquer fortresses across Mordor using the award-winning Nemesis system. You'll engage in massive battles while recruiting and dominating enemy orcs, develop powerful abilities, and explore a richly detailed, dynamic world filled with challenging enemies, side missions, and evolving threats. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons Remake is a beautifully reimagined adventure where two siblings embark on a heartfelt journey to find the fabled Water of Life and save their ailing father. Rebuilt with modern visuals, enhanced performance, and a fully re-recorded orchestral soundtrack, this remake preserves the original's touching narrative while enriching every scene with sharper detail and more cinematic presentation. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, The Evil Within 2 is an atmospheric survival horror following Detective Sebastian Castellanos as he descends once again into the warped world of STEM to rescue his lost daughter. The decaying cityscape constantly shifts between dream and nightmare, testing your sanity as grotesque creatures lurk in the dark and twisted memories resurface, all while you explore semi-open environments filled with hidden dangers. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Battlefield 1 Revolution is a complete first-person shooter experience set during the battles of the Great War, combining the base game with all 4 expansions, the Heroes of the Great War bundle, and full multiplayer content. Players can experience an adventure-filled campaign, engage in team-based battles on land, air, and sea, and customize gameplay with new weapons, maps, and content from the Premium Pass. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is a high-octane 2D fighting game featuring frenetic 3-on-3 tag battles where iconic Marvel and Capcom characters clash in spectacular, fast-paced, over-the-top combat. You'll master combos, chain devastating attacks, and experiment with team strategies in modes like Heroes and Heralds, then test your skills online against players worldwide in intense, competitive multiplayer matches. It's an 81 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a cinematic action adventure that concludes Lara Croft's origin story as she battles to stop a Mayan apocalypse and become the Tomb Raider she's destined to be. Explore dense jungles and hidden tombs, master stealth-based combat and traversal, and take on all 7 DLC challenge tombs alongside additional weapons, outfits, and skills in the most complete version of her defining journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is an open-world action-adventure set in Industrial Revolution-era London, where twin assassins fight to free the city from corruption and ruthless industrial barons. You'll lead a growing underworld empire, recruiting allies, toppling rival gangs, and using stealth, brutal melee combat, and dynamic parkour to liberate each district from Templar control and reclaim the city's streets. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off, Dead Island 2 Ultimate Edition is a vibrant, over-the-top first-person action RPG where you explore gore-drenched Los Angeles teeming with zombies, larger-than-life characters, and chaotic pulp-style mayhem at every turn. This Ultimate Edition includes both story expansions and a variety of special packs, from golden and pulp weapons to premium characters, offering endless zombie-slaying fun, intense combat, and customization. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered is a beautifully crafted JRPG that blends Studio Ghibli's enchanting animation, Joe Hisaishi's unforgettable music, and deep, engaging gameplay for an unforgettable adventure. You play as Oliver, a young boy who embarks on a journey through a magical parallel world, making friends, battling fierce creatures, and overcoming challenges in a quest to restore his mother after a tragic incident. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil Village is a chilling survival horror experience blending classic tension with modern gameplay, delivering a terrifying and unforgettable journey through a mysterious world. Set a few years after Resident Evil 7, Ethan Winters and his wife Mia are trying to live peacefully in a remote village, but their tranquility is shattered when horrors emerge, forcing Ethan to confront nightmarish creatures and unravel dark secrets. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Okami HD is a beautifully remastered action-adventure that transforms the world into a living Sumi-e ink painting, letting you play as Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess in the form of a legendary white wolf. Journey across the ruined lands of Nippon, battling the 8-headed demon Orochi, and using the celestial brush to manipulate the environment, solve puzzles, and unleash divine attacks in a uniquely artistic way. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is a story-driven RPG that follows young King Evan on a heroic quest to rebuild his kingdom, unite his world, and protect its people from looming dark forces. You'll explore an animated world that seamlessly blends cinematic storytelling with engaging gameplay, battle fantastical creatures in strategic, real-time combat, and manage kingdom-building elements that shape the fate of your realm. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Castlevania Advance Collection is a 4-game anthology of early 2000s action exploration classics, including Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dracula X, where you battle Dracula and his minions across sprawling, intricate 2D castles. You'll use unique systems like dual setup, spell fusion, and item crash, while mastering abilities and enjoying tight combat, exploration, and challenging encounters. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 83% off, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is an action RPG where you explore the vast open world of Grancis in 1080p HD, taking on fearsome monsters with dynamic combat and fully customizable abilities for every playstyle. You'll choose from 9 unique classes, command 3 AI companions called pawns, and use climbing, grappling, and magical skills to engage gigantic creatures up close while exploring diverse environments. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off, Watch Dogs 2 is an open-world action adventure that puts you in the shoes of Marcus Holloway, a gifted hacker fighting back against a hyper-surveilled San Francisco Bay Area. Teaming up with the hacker collective DedSec, you'll use drones, hacking tools, stealth, and creative gadgets to infiltrate secure locations, manipulate CTOS 2.0 systems, and expose how corrupt corporations exploit data to control society. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Prey is a deeply atmospheric sci-fi thriller that strands you aboard Talos 1, a massive, high-tech research station orbiting the moon in 2032. You awaken as the central subject of a dangerous experiment gone horribly wrong, unleashing a shape-shifting alien threat known as the Typhon that turns every corridor, lab, and maintenance shaft into a deadly, unpredictable maze, all while you explore the sprawling, interconnected station. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus is an intense, story-driven first-person shooter that follows war hero BJ Blazkowicz as he fights to free Nazi-occupied America. Set in an alternate 1961, you'll rally the resistance and ignite a revolution across devastated cities, rural strongholds, and secret Nazi facilities, unleashing devastating dual-wield weapons and enhanced combat abilities to tear through soldiers, mechs, and monstrosities. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Risk of Rain 2 is a fast-paced roguelike where you fight through hordes of relentless monsters on an alien planet, solo or with friends, mastering each character's unique abilities to survive. You'll explore visually striking locales, collect over 110 powerful items, and adapt to a scaling system that grows both you and your foes stronger over time, while unlocking 10 unique survivors and experimenting with artifacts to modify gameplay. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Terraria puts the entire world at your fingertips, blending survival, exploration, and limitless creativity into a unique, action-packed sandbox adventure full of discovery, danger, and endless possibilities. Dig through expansive caverns, battle hundreds of enemies, and gather thousands of resources to craft powerful weapons, armor, and items, while shaping the world around you with your own constructions and ingenious mechanisms. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a fast, flashy 3v3 fighting game that perfectly captures the explosive battles and iconic characters of the Dragon Ball universe with incredible authenticity and non-stop visual flair. Blending stunning anime-style visuals with easy-to-learn but hard-to-master mechanics, it lets you build dream teams, pull off high-speed tag combos, and battle across competitive ranked play, casual lobbies, and party matches. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition is an action RPG where you hunt massive monsters across dynamic, breathtaking ecosystems, now enhanced with the Iceborne expansion, new quests, and master rank challenges. Track, battle, and defeat towering beasts using a vast arsenal of weapons and armor, alone or in online co-op, while exploring environments filled with secrets, rare resources, and formidable wildlife. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 300 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Zero Escape, the Nonary games, includes 2 gripping Nonary games, each featuring 9 unwilling participants kidnapped to unfamiliar, high-stakes, perilous locations. One group is trapped on a sinking boat with only 9 hours to escape, while the other is locked in a mysterious facility and forced to trust or betray each other under life-or-death pressure, with death inevitable if the rules are broken or they fail entirely. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5, 65% off, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 is a 2D action platformer blending classic retro aesthetics with modern gameplay, where you control Zangetsu, a swordsman on a relentless quest to vanquish demons and the alchemists who summon them. What begins as a solo mission evolves into a strategic adventure as Zangetsu can recruit new allies, each offering unique abilities and varied ways to tackle stages with tactical flexibility. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Blasphemous 2 is a dark, gothic action platformer where the penitent one awakens in a new, twisted land, bound once more to the endless cycle of life, death, and penance within a cruel, unforgiving world. You'll traverse sprawling non-linear regions, uncover hidden secrets, and battle through a nightmarish procession of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses that test both reflex and resolve in thrilling, punishing combat. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD is an action RPG where you control Class 0, 14 elite students from a prestigious military academy, as they fight to defend their homeland from a brutal, relentless invading empire bent on total conquest. Switch between characters in real-time combat, harness unique abilities and devastating magic, and experience a dark, war-torn world full of strategy, political intrigue, and high-stakes battles. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Injustice 2 Legendary Edition is the ultimate version of NetherRealm's DC fighting game, packing the full base roster along with all downloadable content characters and premier skins. Continue the cinematic story as Batman clashes with Superman's regime, earn gear after every match to customize and evolve your fighters, and battle across iconic DC locations using deep combo systems and character-specific abilities. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Sakura Wars is a vibrant action-adventure and dating sim hybrid set in an alternate 1940s steampunk Tokyo, where the Imperial Combat Review defends the city from invading demonic forces threatening all of humanity. As newly appointed captain Seijiro Kamiyama, you'll lead the struggling Flower Division by building trust, improving morale, and rekindling their fighting spirit through heartfelt interactions and emotional choices. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Star Ocean First Departure R is a classic JRPG where you join Roddick and his friends as they set out from the peaceful town of Kratos to save a neighboring village struck by a mysterious petrifying disease. You'll explore vibrant planets, engage in real-time combat, and uncover a sprawling sci-fi story filled with unexpected twists, ancient powers, and interstellar intrigue, all while managing party growth and strategic combat. It's a 76 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is an action-adventure game that revives the beloved Monster World series, created alongside the original Wonder Boy mastermind. Guide Jin through a vibrant, hand-drawn world, transforming into 6 unique forms with distinct combat and platforming abilities, while exploring vast lands, defeating challenging enemies, and uncovering hidden secrets across forests, caves, and magical kingdoms. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 45% off, Gone Home is a first-person narrative exploration game set in 1995, casting you as a young woman returning from overseas to an empty rural Oregon home where her family has mysteriously vanished. Search through detailed rooms at your own pace, examine handwritten notes and personal belongings to piece together story threads, and uncover what happened through environmental storytelling. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 50% off, Onimusha Warlords is a remastered action-adventure classic that follows Samurai Samanosuke on a quest to rescue a captured princess and purge a demonic invasion threatening feudal Japan. You'll wield elemental weapons, solve environmental puzzles, and engage in fast, precise sword combat against hordes of grotesque creatures and cunning bosses, all enhanced by smooth analog controls and modern refinements. It's an 84 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth is an emotionally charged RPG steeped in Norse mythology, blending divine storytelling, character-driven drama, and beautifully orchestrated combat in one of the most beloved classics of its era. As the battle maiden Lenneth, you descend from Valhalla to recruit the souls of fallen warriors, uncovering their tragic pasts, unlocking secrets, and forging their destinies as you prepare for Ragnarok. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is a colorful action platformer that follows Shantae, the hair-whipping genie, as she loses her magic and must team up with her nemesis, Risky Boots, to save Sequinland from an evil curse. As a pirate, Shantae wields new weapons like a flintlock pistol, scimitar, and cannon to battle monsters and bosses, upgrade her abilities, locate maps, return heart squids, and collect rare loot across cursed islands. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner Mars is a high-speed mech action game remastered in stunning 4K with full VR support, delivering an adrenaline-pumping sci-fi experience from the cockpit of the legendary orbital frame. Set in the year 2174, you'll battle across Mars and Earth, unleashing powerful melee and ranged attacks and fast, cinematic combat that blends fluid movement with explosive spectacle and intense strategy. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Guacamelee 2 Complete delivers the full Metroidvania experience, including the base game and both DLC packs for a complete, action-packed, colorful, and humor-filled adventure full of surprises and chaotic fun. The 3 Enemigos character pack adds game-changing costumes, while the Proving Grounds challenge level offers brutal tests and rich rewards, making this edition the ultimate, fully loaded Guacamelee experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope is a cinematic horror adventure where 4 college students and their professor become trapped in a fog-shrouded town, facing terrifying visions tied to the 17th century Andover witch trials. You'll make critical choices that branch the story, evade relentless supernatural apparitions, and play solo or in online and local co-op, all while uncovering dark secrets that threaten each character's soul. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Mega Man 11 brings the Blue Bomber back in a stunning new entry that blends classic, challenging 2D platforming with vibrant, hand-drawn environments, detailed 3D character models, and beautifully animated cinematic sequences. Battle robot masters, steal their powerful weapons, and experience the innovative double gear system to boost speed and power, adding fresh layers of strategy, skill, and excitement to the beloved gameplay. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Danganronpa Another Episode, Ultra Despair Girls is a third-person action spin-off where Komaro Naegi and Toko Fukawa fight to survive a child-led revolution in the despair-ridden streets of Toa City. Use Kamaru's hacking gun to disable and manipulate murderous Monokuma robots, switch to Toko's Genocide Jack persona for frantic close-quarters combat, and unravel the dark secrets of the Warriors of Hope. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is a remastered crime action game set in 1940s to 50s Empire Bay, where war hero Vito Scaletta becomes entangled with the mob to pay his father's debts and rise through the criminal ranks. Explore a sprawling post-war city teeming with opportunity and organized crime, engaging in high-stakes heist and morally complex missions that capture the allure and danger of the Golden Era Mafia. It's a 76 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a puzzle-filled mystery adventure where you play as Sissel, a ghost who wakes up with no memory after being murdered and must solve the mystery of his own death before sunrise. You'll possess and manipulate objects and unravel intricate puzzles, while interacting with a cast of charming and eccentric characters, using your supernatural abilities to influence events and uncover hidden clues across the city. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a high-octane fighting game spin-off from the beloved Persona series, where heroes battle waves of shadows in the intense P1 Climax tournament. Featuring a deep roster of playable characters, including Persona 3 fan favorites and Shadow versions, players can master a variety of fighting styles, learn intricate combos, and execute powerful Persona skills in fast-paced, strategic matches. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, God Eater 3 is an action-packed RPG where you hunt massive origami monsters using a versatile arsenal of God Arcs, each offering unique combat styles, devastating attacks, and strategic depth. Master new abilities like burst arts, dive-dash attacks, and evolved ground, air, and step techniques to dominate fearsome foes, while facing the terrifying Ash origami who utilize devour attacks and enter burst mode. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Persona 3 Portable is a remastered, critically acclaimed RPG that redefined the Persona series, placing you in the shoes of a high school student who awakens a persona during the mysterious Dark Hour. Battle shadows, climb the towering dungeon of Tartarus, and uncover the truth behind this eerie, hidden time, while forming deep social bonds with unforgettable characters and navigating complex relationships. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Cat Quest 3 is a whimsical 2.5D open-world action RPG where you play a swashbuckling privateer exploring the pirate-themed Caribbean in search of the legendary Northern Star. Sail your ship across vibrant seas, battle hordes of pirates, and use a refined combat system with tight combos, weapon swapping, ferocious spells, and environmental interactions, all playable solo or in local co-op with friends. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider is a stealth action adventure where you play Billy Lurk, a former killer for hire reunited with mentor Dodd, embarking on the ultimate assassination mission to eliminate the godlike outsider. Explore the grimy streets, rooftops, and hidden alleys of Karnaca, use supernatural abilities and inventive gadgets to outwit deadly opponents, and make morally complex decisions that shape the fate of the city. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off, 428 Shibuya Scramble is a live-action visual novel thriller where a single kidnapping in Tokyo's Shibuya district intertwines the fates of 5 wildly different protagonists over the course of one chaotic day. Shift between characters like a hot-blooded detective and a part-timer in a cat costume, make choices that branch into possible endings, and experience the story through a unique blend of text, live-action stills, and video sequences. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Soul Calibur 6 is a weapons-based fighting game that delivers intense, skill-driven combat with all-new mechanics like Reversal Edge to block and counterattack, and Soul Charge to turn the tide of battle with precision and timing. Wield lethal hits, perform devastating combos, and face fearsome opponents across a variety of single-player modes, including a story mode revisiting the 16th century events of the original Soul Calibur. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Dead Rising 4 Frank's Big Package is an open-world zombie action adventure that brings Frank West back to Willamette in the most complete edition, packing in all DLC and bonus content with no time limits holding you back. Explore a massive holiday-themed sandbox full of undead hordes and craft outrageous combo weapons and exosuits to mow down enemies, all while snapping photos to uncover clues and boost rewards. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, AI The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative is a gripping visual novel and investigative thriller where players step into the shoes of special agents aided by AI partners to solve the bizarre half-body serial killings. Explore crime scenes, interrogate suspects, and dive into the surreal Somnium worlds to uncover hidden memories, piece together evidence, and unravel the dark mysteries behind the enigmatic Nirvana Initiative. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is a stunning revival of the iconic 2009 blockbuster, rebuilt for a new generation with fully remastered visuals. Relive the legendary single-player campaign as Task Force 141 battles across globe-spanning missions, now featuring improved textures, animations, physically-based rendering, and high dynamic range lighting that breathe new life into a celebrated franchise classic. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Outriders is a 1-to-3 player co-op RPG shooter set in a dark, desperate sci-fi universe where humanity struggles to survive on the hostile planet Enoch against mutated creatures, brutal insurgents, and warring factions. Create and customize your own Outrider with one of 4 distinct classes, unleash devastating abilities alongside aggressive gunplay, and explore forests, mountains, deserts, and war-torn wastelands. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9, 75% off, Pathologic 2 is a narrative-driven dramatic thriller where you take on the role of the town's new chief healer, racing against time to combat a deadly plague while navigating a collapsing rural society filled with paranoia, distrust, and hidden agendas. You'll explore a desolate, atmospheric town, seek out unexpected allies, and make impossible choices that determine who lives and who dies, all within a strict 12-day timeline. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Tacoma is a first-person narrative exploration game set aboard an abandoned space station where you investigate the fate of crew members through advanced augmented reality recordings. Rewind and fast-forward through holographic scenes to follow multiple character storylines, explore the corridors of the Tacoma station at your own pace, and piece together an interwoven mystery about corporate control and survival in orbit. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Rage 2 is an open-world first-person shooter where you play as Walker, the last ranger of the Wasteland, fighting to overthrow the tyrannical authority after an asteroid devastates Earth. Tear across deserts and ruined highways using powerful nanotrite abilities, chaotic gunplay, and explosive vehicle combat, while battling gangs like the Goons and hunting down the authority's war machine across the Wasteland. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Team Sonic Racing is a vibrant arcade kart racer where Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and the rest of the crew compete in high-speed team-based races across iconic tracks from the Sonic universe. Drift through courses like Wisp Circuit and Booze House while using slingshot drafting behind teammates, sharing item boxes to keep your squad stocked with power-ups, and unleashing powerful team ultimate abilities to surge past rival teams. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Chia is a vibrant open-world adventure where you explore a tropical archipelago to rescue your father from the tyrant Mayavora, climbing, gliding, and sailing through lush islands. Take control of animals and objects with Chia's soul-jumping ability, solve physics-based puzzles, tackle combat encounters against fabric soldiers, and customize your boat and outfits while uncovering mystical totems and totem shrine challenges. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Amnesia Collection bundles 2 chilling psychological horror adventures across terrifying, immersive worlds of fear and mystery. In The Dark Descent, Daniel awakens in a desolate castle with no memory, navigating eerie corridors and uncovering horrifying secrets while maintaining his sanity. And in A Machine for Pigs, Oswald Mandis races against time to save his children after waking haunted by nightmarish visions. It's a 79 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak is a hunting adventure bundle, combining the base game and its massive Sunbreak expansion in one set. Explore expansive maps, track and battle fearsome new monsters, utilize the wire bug for unprecedented mobility, ride your loyal Palamute companions in a combat, and face increasingly challenging hunts with friends or solo in dynamic environments full of surprises and epic encounters. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 250 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is a brutally challenging action platformer where Knight Arthur battles through the demon realm to rescue the kidnapped princess from the demon lord's dark and monstrous forces. Fight through eerie stages using classic weapons like the lance and spike ball, learning powerful magic, and mastering precise jumps while relentless enemies tear away Arthur's armor piece by piece. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, World War Z is a co-op third-person zombie shooter, sending squads of survivors across global hotspots as humanity teeters on the brink of extinction. Fight through story-driven campaigns in New York, Moscow, and Jerusalem, battling massive hordes of hundreds of undead, leveling up 6 distinct classes with deep weapon upgrades, and diving into intense 4v4 PvPvZ modes that mix player combat with relentless zombie waves. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a VR survival horror adventure set in walker-infested New Orleans, where you fight, sneak, scavenge, and survive while unraveling a citywide mystery shaped by your choices. Explore a free-roaming city, craft makeshift weapons and tools from scrap, and use stealth or brute force to deal with both the living and the dead, with spatial audio making every sound a potential death sentence. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Zonky Zero Last Beginning is a post-apocalyptic survival RPG where you experience the story through the POV of 8 protagonists, each struggling to uncover their past and survive in a deadly world. Explore ruins, dungeons, and islands while hunting for materials, crafting items, and fending off monsters in real-time combat, all while managing basic needs like sleeping, eating, and bathroom breaks to avoid fatal consequences. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Eternites is a dating action RPG that blends a heartfelt, character-driven love story with fast-paced, anime-inspired combat, challenging you to make the most of your time during a world-ending apocalypse. Scavenge for supplies between deadlines, explore dungeons, battle infected in real-time encounters, and deepen bonds with 5 quirky companions to unlock powerful skills, hidden story routes, and unique relationship events. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, .hack G U Last Recode is a remastered action RPG collection where players return to the world as Hasio hunts the mysterious Triad across a universe of online adventure. Players explore 3 fully restored titles, Rebirth, Reminisce, and Redemption, experience enhanced combat, and uncover hidden storylines while navigating interconnected servers, interacting with memorable characters, and unlocking rare collectibles. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight is a rhythm spin-off that pulls the Phantom Thieves away from their heists and onto the dance floor for a mysterious Velvet Room party. The game features a soundtrack packed with tracks and remixes from Persona 5, customizable gameplay options, English and Japanese dual audio VO, and deeper social story segments that let you connect with teammates on a more personal level. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 70% off, My Time at Portia is a charming life simulation RPG where you restore your pa's workshop and explore a vibrant post-apocalyptic town full of quirky characters. Build and upgrade your workshop with new machines and furniture, befriend villagers by completing quests, exchanging gifts, and going on dates, and explore the ancient ruins and dungeons to uncover resources, fight enemies, and discover hidden secrets. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Borderlands Legendary Collection delivers 3 full games, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, packed with over 100 hours of loot-filled co-op action across Pandora and its moon, Helios. Battle bandits and bosses using an enormous arsenal of guns, grenades, and abilities, while customizing your Vault Hunter and teaming up with friends locally or online. It's an 84 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 160 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $9, 75% off, Asterigos, Curse of the Stars is an action RPG set in Office, a city-state inspired by ancient Rome and classical Greece, full of magic and a dark curse waiting to be unraveled. Mix and match 6 weapon types, dual blades, spear, hammer, staff, magic bracelets, and more, while battling 60 monster types, 22 unique bosses, and uncovering the city's history through documents and Hilda's personal diary. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Greedfall Gold Edition is a sprawling, critically acclaimed RPG that blends exploration, diplomacy, and supernatural intrigue on a remote island full of magic, treasures, and fantastical creatures. Its deep character customization, branching storylines, and expanded Gold Edition content, including the Divest Conspiracy expansion, create a rich, engaging, and strategic experience that warrants careful choices. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, the Mega Man Legacy Collection is a celebration of Capcom's iconic Blue Bomber, bringing together the original 6 8-bit Mega Man games in one nostalgic package. Play through the classic platforming action, tackle challenging remixed sections in challenge mode, and explore the museum mode with high-resolution art and historical content while experiencing the timeless gameplay that made Mega Man a legend. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 50% off, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX is a fast-paced action platformer where you play as a high-tech hero who dashes into enemies, locks onto targets, and blasts foes with precision while exploring colorful stages. Use Copen's Bullet Dash to traverse levels, exploit each boss's unique powers, and collect new EX weapons, while unlocking powerful upgrades and racking up kudos points for high scores. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6, 80% off, LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham Deluxe Edition is a charming co-op action game where Batman and DC's greatest heroes blast off to space to stop Brainiac from shrinking worlds into his twisted miniature collection. The Deluxe Edition includes the Season Pass with 6 DLC packs, The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Batman 75th, Arrow, and more, unlocking over 40 additional characters, vehicles, and achievements. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Tinykin is an action-adventure platformer where Milo finds himself shrunk to ant size in a world frozen in 1991, teaming up with a mysterious Tinykin to navigate a sprawling, insect-populated metropolis. Use over 100 Tinykin with unique powers to create ladders, bridges, and explosions, explore cities built by ants and beetles, and collect upgrades to improve his bubble pack and complete the enigmatic Rid Me machine. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Aeterna Noctis is a sprawling non-linear action platforming adventure where you become the King of Darkness on a challenging quest to reclaim your lost powers across a beautifully crafted world. Across 16 hand-drawn areas brimming with secrets, side quests, and treacherous platforming challenges, you'll uncover an emotional story that hides profound twists and surprising depth beneath its seemingly straightforward premise. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, the Serious Sam collection puts you in the boots of legendary action hero Sam Serious Stone as you battle a merciless alien invasion across ancient Egypt and South America with non-stop, old-school mayhem. The collection includes Serious Sam HD, the first encounter, the second encounter, Serious Sam 3 BFE, and both major expansions, delivering pure arcade shooter chaos from start to finish. It's an 81 average on game rankings, and there's unfortunately a broken trophy making the platinum unobtainable. For $6, 80% off, Just Cause 3 XXL Edition is an open-world action adventure where you play as Rico Rodriguez, wreaking havoc across the Mediterranean island of Medici with explosive weapons, vehicles, and daring stunts. Complete story missions, tackle extra challenges from the Air, Land, and Sea expansion pass, and unleash chaos with weaponized vehicles, the Reaper missile mech, and over-the-top gadgets in a sandbox playground of destruction. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Titan Quest is a classic action RPG from Age of Empires co-creator Brian Sullivan and Braveheart writer Randall Wallace, casting you as a hero chosen by the gods to hunt down the escaped Titans across ancient Greece, Egypt, and Asia. Build your champion from 28 classes and over 1,000 unique items, battle mythical beasts through a sweeping story-driven campaign, and team up with up to 5 friends in online co-op. It's an 80 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions is an action soccer game based on the globally beloved anime, packed with flashy super plays and modern visuals that fans and newcomers alike can enjoy. The game features 2 story modes, Episode Tsubasa, which follows the events of the anime, and Episode New Hero, an original story where you create your own player and carve your place in the Captain Tsubasa world. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Kill Knight is a fast and visceral top-down action game where you play as a betrayed, reanimated knight cast into the abyss to slay the last angel across 5 handcrafted eldritch arenas. Exploit enemy weaknesses, execute brutal kills, and manage your arsenal of pistols, heavy weapons, and armor while mastering Wrath Blasts, all wrapped in a neon-soaked retro aesthetic with global leaderboards and a Sever Mode marathon challenge. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 65% off, Black the Fall is a dark puzzle platformer where you play as an aging machinist attempting to escape the oppressive grasp of a totalitarian communist regime in a harsh, unforgiving world filled with danger. Navigate shadowy factories and grim landscapes using ingenuity, stealth, and a stolen designator tool, while befriending a small abandoned robot to overcome deadly traps and unravel the secrets of this bleak, dystopian world. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9, 65% off, Have a Nice Death is a fast-paced roguelike action game where you take on the role of Death, navigating the darkly charming, procedurally generated departments of Death Inc. while wielding a deadly scythe. You'll battle relentless minions and challenging bosses, chain devastating combos, and interact with quirky characters like your pumpkin-headed assistant, all while adapting to the company's chaotic office culture. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Puyo Puyo Tetris is a frantic puzzle party mashup that slams 2 of gaming's most iconic franchises together into a fast-paced, wildly competitive experience unlike anything else. The game offers a generous variety of modes, from single-player adventure and challenge to 4-player arcade, giving both Tetris and Puyo Puyo fans a huge amount of content and variety to sink their teeth into across both franchises. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens Deluxe Edition includes the main game and Season Pass content, offering the full LEGO Star Wars experience across a galaxy far, far away. Relive the epic action of the blockbuster film Star Wars The Force Awakens, retold through LEGO's clever, witty, and endlessly entertaining lens, while exploring brand new story content bridging the events between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, A Ranger, a role-puzzling adventure, is a charming and inventive puzzle RPG following Gemma, a small-town misfit on a journey of self-discovery through a world ruled by fear and a strange static force. You'll navigate a unique grid where every move shifts the world around you, blending exploration, combat, and clever environmental puzzles into a playful yet thoughtful experience that constantly challenges your strategy and timing. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.